Okay, now we're recording. Let's see, Annie's here tonight. You guys know if Marty's joining us this evening?
She called me just a few minutes ago. That's why I was screwing around. She's running a little bit behind, but she will be on here shortly.
Okay, no problem. Speaking of Marty, that's her. She just beeped in. Let me see, click admit. All right. All I wanted to do, all I have as far as business wise goes, I just wanted to go down the schedule for the next little bit of some things that we got going on, so that everyone's aware of what's going on coming up. So the next thing that I have is as an event is September 17th is the walk to the Frick Museum. And I believe Jim already sent out a invite to that. If I remember correctly, It came out this past Sunday. September 21st is the talk about. You guys have been going to that. I unfortunately can't make too many of those, but that's down at the IHOP. It says the information I got says that there'll be a couple stations set up. Bring your camera if you want. Bring some pictures if you want to talk about it, or just come out and hang out. I am.
Weren't we supposed to bring an example of books if we have them catalogs? That was what Jim had talked about last time around.
Okay.
But
for the talk about, yeah, that sounds good. Go ahead.
Yes, that's what you mentioned that, Rex. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. September 24th. It's not on the schedule, but I said we was going to add this in. Is going to be the photo walk to the Renaissance Festival. That I think works out as being probably a pretty good one to go to, the 24th. The last one is the October 1st. So we'll do the September 24th for the Ren Fest. I'll send out the information as far as the time and all that kind of stuff. Next week, I will send that. I got it on my calendar to send it next week. I've been there once. Beth's been there. I don't know if DL's been down there yet or not. Annie, did you go yesterday?
Yep.
Annie went yesterday.
Me, Melissa, and my friend Holly went yesterday.
Okay, cool. Everything was it good? What'd you think?
Yeah, we kept thinking it might rain, but it never did, so we didn't get wet.
That was kind of the reason I didn't go. I had a couple of things that I wanted to do yesterday, and I decided not to go to either one because I thought it was going to rain, and it never rained. So,
just an FYI, the crack will be there. That's next weekend. Is their last weekend?
No, the 24th is their last.
Or the 24th. That's it.
That's the reason I have the date set for the 24th.
Yep.
Yeah, they said they were going to be there the first 5 weekends. So the last of those 5 weekends is the 24th.
Oh yeah, that's it. No, because I checked the 30th. I'm flying out to go to Texas.
Okay. All right.
So I won't make it next weekend. I was off on vacation till today. I go back to work tomorrow. Woo.
In October, we have October 15th, we have a fall picnic. So just keep that in mind. That'll be coming up. Jim will be sending out information about that.
Where's that one?
I was going to ask the same question. So
it's at Keystone.
Okay. Thanks.
It's at Keystone. So, the September SWIG meeting will be light painting. And Beth, I have you and Carl, or no, you and Alan written down for that. Sorry.
Yeah, and I don't know.
You're not sure yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the light painting we were planning on doing for that one was the like painting in the air with lights kind of stuff.
Okay.
Was the original plan, not putting light onto objects.
Okay. So like doing the circle ball thing.
Yeah,
Orbs.
orbs
That's the word I was trying to find.
all that stuff. So
Carl, are you raising your hand or are you just showing me your injury again?
And do I have tips and tricks that night?
September. Yeah, you do. September, tips and tricks. Carl. Well, if we meet in person, you can tell us about your tips and tricks. If not, we'll add you in here in another spot.
In person?
If we're doing light painting together and taking pictures of orbs and stuff like that, that's most likely going to be in person instead of on Zoom. So if you could give a tips and tricks on how to properly set up a tripod
I can do that.
or something like that if we're going to be in person.
I can only do it with one hand though.
That's okay. That was the next thing I had on my list, and the only other thing I had was shows down in for November. We have one at Feathers. I'm assuming that's still happening.
Yes,
Yes. Okay.
as far as I know.
Okay. All right. So that was all I had for business. Does anybody have anything they want to bring up or talk about or?
Rex out.
Did I miss anything important the last couple of weeks here?
Of course, you missed us.
Sorry.
Said, of course, you missed us.
Oh, well, yeah. I also have an operating thumb. But it is what it is.
All right. Okay.
How to work the camera yet.
I don't have anything else. As far as business goes, I think we're pretty good as far as everything's going along.
Brian, did you have any trouble with IHOP for last Thursday?
Other than they didn't know we were coming, no.
Oh my gosh.
But I just walked in. I walked in and said, "Hey, we're going in this room over here." And she said, "Oh, okay." And then she come over and she said, no one told me that you guys were coming tonight." I said, "Well, we're here." I said, "There's only going to be like 5 or 6 of us." She went, "Oh, okay, no problem." And so,
Oh my goodness.
but
All right.
no, it was good. It was no problem. I got busy and forgot to call, so no big deal. But we did our thing. We had fun. We talked about the history brush in Photoshop and the uselessness of the art history brush in Photoshop. And we talked about some layering a little bit and kind of stuff. We got showed Barb how to do a few things. Barb was excited, I think.
Yes, I was. It was very nice.
Cool. DL was there and it was pretty good. So
Sorry I missed it.
that's her. Oh yeah. Yeah, we missed you. The tables were clean this time, so that was a plus.
Yeah, they were clean the last time too.
And I actually got to eat too, so I was happy. All right. Anything else? Anything I missed? Anything? Got anybody want to talk about something or bring anything up? No boy. It's gonna be a long meeting.
Well,
all right.
I can show that repair that I did on the image that I did for you, Annie.
Actually, Rex, that would be absolutely wonderful if you want to do that.
Okay. Well, I can distill it down to probably a 3-step process. Hopefully I can get it up into Photoshop in order to show what I did. Most of it is easy to do, easy understandable. There might be a interest in just the way that I was able to bring the parts together. Well, first of all, let's see if I can actually get the image to appear. Now, do I just grab Lightroom first and bring it up, or do I need to get a screen, share a screen?
Either way, whichever direction you want to go.
Okay, so I'll bring it up. No, I'm going to have to share the screen first, and then where do I go from here? Let's see. I'll do this. Now I'll bring Photoshop. Okay, I've got Photoshop up. I've got Lightroom up, and I don't know. We're not seeing it on the other screen though. Let me put it halfway up so we can look over here. Share. Okay, share. I see. I can see that it's coming in. Okay, now
There
I
you
just
go.
have. All right. Oh, this may be back up again. All right. So good. What it came up to was the pieces that Annie gave me. I put on a copy stand with the camera looking straight down on the copy stand. Photographed it, brought it in, and began figuring out just exactly how I was going to do it. So what I did is, after I had the pieces generally close together, close as I could get them, I brought it into Photoshop. Okay, so hopefully we're going up into Photoshop, and I'm surprised it's working at a normal pace. I better not say anything.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Photoshop. All right. Okay. Let me just bring this screen down a little bit so I've got more to work with. There we go. Okay, now you just have to answer some questions here. Yeah, use the embedded file. Bring the image up. Oh my goodness, what's that? I don't know if anybody else has had this problem, but it sure likes to advertise in here. Okay, so what we have is a image that was brought in from Lightroom, and what I did is went to the quick selection tool and began. I don't know if you can see the clear enough to see the dots as they're lining themselves up. Can everybody see that? Can anybody see that?
Mm-hmm. I can see it.
Okay. All right. So at this point, come on. Let's fill it in. That's it. Stay filled in. Fill in around the hand there. Okay. All I did now, we're looking at the left, right, and up, down keys on my keyboard. All right. And well, after I do, okay. So the move tool has to be clicked on, which is why it wouldn't move when I first tried it. Now let's see. Let's see. Well, there. See it moving? I'm using, instead of the arrows, I'm using the cursor. I'm using the mouse. What I'm going to do is come in a little closer here so I can see the work better. And there were certain areas that were just completely missing, and that had to be just put in with the stamp tool or the content aware tool, So what we've done so far is move the image closer to it. Now, one of the things you can do is if you hit Control H, it'll make the marching ants disappear. Let me see if I can. Okay. Now, after getting this whole thing going, these arrows are working in fine increments, and I'm slowly moving it into place a little further. So I've been able to essentially put the majority of the pieces that were originally a single print close enough together that they're in a what I would call an acceptable spot. I'm going to go back to the one of the things I'll be looking for is registration. Can you see what I'm showing you here now?
Mhm.
I can move these up and out, and I can put them in register form. All right. So there is going to be some cleanup to do afterward. Let me put it back in, let's be back to 100. Let's go back to the screen. The trouble area really is kind of right in here. These are the areas that have to be worked on. One of the things I have to do is to move, I have a column of what we're looking at each other here. I have to move that out of the way so I can see what I really should have done is hit Control J, which would give me a second copy to work on. So we're going to trust that I can make what I need to do in the first go around. And let me see if I can, let's move up here. It might take a moment to get it to do it. Okay, there we go. That's what I'm dealing with this computer. It's taking its time to do that, but there we go. Okay, so I'll try the stamp tool first. So the stamp tool, I'm clicking on the stamp tool. This is just absolutely going to be a slow operation, but I'll take a dynamic area first and come on. That's not the tool I want. I'm clicking on the right tool. It's not giving it to me. Come on, come on. That's not fair. All right. Okay. You're going to stay there? Wow. Oh, finally. Thank you. Okay. This probably will take some time too, but I'm just going to click on a small sample of that area. Oh, could not use content because area content. Oh, that's can't be defined because low system resources. How about that? Okay. I'm going to put the marching ants back on for a second, just so you can see them. All right, they're back on. And at this point, I'm going to hit Control D. They should be gone. Yeah, I think I heard DL in there. Okay, so take a sample and we'll begin. Oh boy, this is really going to be slow. Okay, so, oh, okay, it does not want to behave. Maybe what I can do is Control save. We're just going to save it just like that. That'll help take care of hanging on. All right. So we've saved that much. right, let's see if we can take a sample. So there's sample, and area has not been defined. Click an area. Okay, I'll click an area. Well, there we go. Okay, so, and this is all, I'm sure, familiar to you if you worked in Photoshop before. And all we're doing is basically sealing up the area with a similar space adjacent to where the break was. Another thing that can be done is by taking the opacity and sending it down to about half or less, going back over it again, and you can create a softer transition in there. Okay, and eventually it will be sufficient enough. Now at this point, I need to be back up. Wow, I can't believe I'm getting this kind of success out of it after all. Okay, right here. There we go. So the next step would be an area like this. But what I want to do is come over here and take some portion of the clothing and begin here. Take this there. All right, I can back up a couple here. Let me back up one more. All right. So this, at this point, you can see that it is just doing the artwork. Another thing I can do is I've got it set for, let me get them up here. I've got the hardness set very high. I need to set it very low. And the reason why, as soon as I get this off again, and the reason why, let me back that up one, so we'll start that again too. Okay. All right. Whoops. No. I'll leave that one in. Is so that we don't have a hard edge. We do not want a hard edge at this point. Here's an example of where it's set to 100% opacity, but it's set with a soft edge. And taking some of it from both sides. And let's put her skin back together again. Just bring it up to the edge of the clothing and just create some clothing where there isn't any. There's two ways to use the stamp tool in case, I need to be able to see it. I might have to loosen this up for a minute and bring it down so that you can see up here there is a where is the alignment? Oh, right over here. If you can see where it says alignment, you can click that off so that the next time you are working on an area, it's constantly looking at the spot that it previously had, and it's just giving you a little more of that. In other words, like the texture that you see out here, which is green and such. Also, if you have the, let me come down here. If you have a larger area where it's open, there's no pattern, that you can put that in like that. In this case, the coloration was different. Okay. And I'm not sure just how much I should go on with, but oh, right here, right here, right here, right there. Okay, take that. Okay, so that's soft. So another thing you'll notice that I'm working at 167% right now. I probably can even move it up another one. Let's go with Control Plus. Should bring it in a little bit further. Let's move down. You see something like this, a little bit of dust. We can find a nearby area similar to it and click it off. Okay. All right, closing some applications. Okay. All right. All right. Again. Move it. All right, I'm going to have to
Do you have any other software running on that computer?
no, this is just, well, what I could have done is not used Lightroom at all. I could have just chosen Photoshop. Okay, here we go. Let's it is okay. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get it back down again. See. I lost it. Lost it. Here, come on. I just wanted to put the alignment. Okay, it's aligned again. That's what I wanted. Okay, there we go. All right. Well, it's telling me things like the internet connection is unstable, but all right. Well,
Mention anyone in particular?
What was that?
You mention anyone in particular?
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. But you know what? What I want to do now is no. It's just my own system. It's just the system itself, and I think I've made a point here on how to get it done. If I can get it to clear itself up, I'll do a few more pieces here. It's still. This is really sad. Really sad. I actually don't have this much trouble normally. It's just that probably because I'm doing it where it's going out over the internet is part of using the system resources of the computer itself and trying to function in Photoshop at the same time. And Lightroom is still sitting dormant at the bottom of the screen. Okay, at some point, it's not really being helpful or in the learning mode. All right, okay, here. So we've got that back. Let's go back. I'm going to set it all the way back if it'll go. Okay. Oh, so I got over there too. Okay. Come back a little more. All right, Control 0 should take it back. All right. Okay. So you can begin to see how I do it. It's usually faster than what I'm showing you right now, but you've seen how the pieces had been photographed on a copy stand and then brought into the digital system and then brought into Lightroom, and then from Lightroom brought into Photoshop and brought to the point where you see what you can see now. I'm not sure if I should attempt to do any more. What I can do is, I'll tell you, we'll try this one more step here. We'll take the, we'll take that. We'll take the stamp tool. We'll come up here, and this will be an attempt. So we'll go here. We're clicking it up at this point, and then I'm going to attempt to put it right here, and then come in and close these off. Come down. Yeah, I didn't get it exactly right, but let's try again. I got some of it. Usually I'm doing this much closer, but being closer seems to be what's causing it to lose some of its speed. So what we're doing is this, and that's all I'm going to do right there. So at this point, if it's behaving enough, I'm going to take some quick shots. Let's just see if it'll do it. Okay. All right. It's doing it. I'm going to take some of these cracks here and bring it down. Okay. Dare I get close enough here to take that out? Okay. Somewhere it's gained back some. Now, this is the fun part because we've got these patterns in here. It might be the there's a content aware tool. The gosh, where's content aware tool? This one. Eraser. No. Spot healing.
Fourth one down.
Oh, was it? Was what? Was the content aware? Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. I think I want to stay with the top one, and we'll give it a try. We'll make it small. Still leave a little bit showing. This is a test for me too, right here. So what? Whoa! Don't need to do that. So let's see what happens. Dear Photoshop. Not too bad. So if I went to the stamp tool now, let's go back to the stamp tool and made it a little smaller. It was able to leave some of the pattern in there. I'll come down here and put some of that in. Come on. Okay, I'm waiting. Okay. Okay. Okay, I've taken way too long. Way too long, but oh, okay. All right. I'm going to have to I want us to have time to do other things here tonight, but let's see, give it another shot. Okay, you want it there. Okay. Stamp of tool called? Well, all I'm trying to do is to take this little false area here that was, okay. Let's see to clear that up. I'm totally sorry for the amount of time it's taken to do this, but this is where I spend a lot of my time doing these things. I did a similar project for a gentleman down the street not too long ago. Well, it gets small. Okay, there we go. Now, and yeah. Okay. Hope not everybody's gone home. Let's see. All right, look, I'm going to have to thank everybody for being as patient as you are being with this. No, it's not what's wanted. Wow. I'm also seeing that it does not come on that screen at the same time it comes on this screen, so there is a delay in the whole thing. All right. Oh boy. Fit. All right. So what I was going to do is take it back. I'm going to save it like it is. All right. And yeah, okay. Save it anyway. And okay, now say goodbye to it here after it's saved. When we get it to Photoshop, the only thing that's left, I mean, when I get it back in Lightroom, the only thing I'm going to do, and it's so much easier to do there, somehow using the cropping rectangle in Lightroom is a lot easier and faster. Okay, all right. So we said, okay. I'm sorry, this really is a really bad show. Okay, so put that away. That's going away. In a second, we should be back into Lightroom. And the item should be there. Yeah, it's there. Okay. Hopefully, this will be very quick. We're going to move the, I got to move my face out of the way. And we'll go to the develop module. In the develop module, just go to this, the crop tool, and I'm going to leave it off And I'm going to go over here, bring that in, bring that up, bring this over, drop it, and call it done. Well, it's not the show that I was hoping for, but this is what I was able to do. There were other things that I didn't really get done here that I would have been doing. And here, let's oh boy. Okay, let's go to 200. And that would have been right here. Now, let's see if we can get some speed. We can use the this is the content aware remove tool. And let's just see how much we can get done with that since we're here and take advantage of it. Take a little bit of it here, see what happens right in there. A little piece at a time, come down here. My goodness, look at that. Okay, takes that out. And well, now maybe just if yes, and that one right there. Okay, so things are happening a little better in here. So essentially I was using Photoshop to select the image and draw the two sides together. Wouldn't it be nice if Lightroom had that capability? Maybe that's something to talk about. All right, let's go through here. That's done. That's done. Okay. You kind of get the hang of what to watch out for when you're using the different brushes. And this one right here, like that. So we're in a dark area, keep it dark. Okay. See how that works. Okay, there's a little spot right there. All right. You know. Oh. And away we go. And while we're at it, you see little, these are little, looks like chemistry spots, a little developer spots and things like that, or dust spots that were in there before. That can be taken out. You can catch up. Okay. Okay, let me back it up a little bit. Take a look around. So actually, okay, we'll wait for that to die. Okay. Okay, it's going to go into a that's enough. That's enough. All I'm trying to do right now is to get it to come back to a full image, and it's working its way back and having a rough time with it. So I don't want to tell it to do much more until it gets caught up.
Hey, DL, you might have to help Rex a little bit with a little upgrade to his computer there.
Yeah, I'm working on a build right now.
Well, I'm ready for it. You just tell me what I have to take from the bank, and we'll get it done. All right. Oh, okay. I'll tell you what. How about I stop share now? That's about the only way I don't see much more benefit.
Okay.
Okay, I'm hitting stop share, so one of those functions should come into stop share. I thought by trying to use the separate computers for this that it would work. The smaller computer, the Lenovo over here that actually is the newest computer, actually can handle it, but my eyesight can't handle it. That's why I need the larger screen. And how about this? Control alternate delete. And that looks like it brought back the system already over here.
Yeah, we got you.
Okay.
You're back to just one. Yep.
Okay. So onward, folks. Anyway, what I was basically trying to show you is that if you have a broken image and you have the pieces, you can put them on a copy stand or the most available space that you have to photograph them very close together, as close as possible, photograph the pieces, and then by using a selection, make the selection crawl back as closely as you can to its mate, the other piece of print or the other pieces of print. And then once you have looked at it at like about 200 or 300x, and you've been able to register it this way and this way, okay, because sometimes when you copy it on the stand, the pieces might be a little bit off. Well, you can correct that both vertically and horizontally, and by rotating one or other of the two pieces just enough, just a micrometer or two, in order to get them back together. Where there are pieces missing, this is where your own artwork comes in, where you actually have to figure out what you're going to use to fill in those spaces. And I'm sorry it took so long. It should have gone way faster than that, but DL's going to help me take care of that. Right, DL?
Rex, Rex, do you have the standalone or the subscription-based Photoshop?
Subscription.
Okay. If you get a chance, download the Photoshop beta version, which is part of the subscription. Then
I did.
He can't.
You did?
It doesn't work.
I tried it. Yeah. DL has given me a couple of things that I was trying out, which included, it actually required the beta version in order to make them work right. And my computer came up and just told me it doesn't have the resources.
Okay. Okay. Because
Yeah,
if it did, just in case when you get a new computer, you could use that beta version and just use the lasso tool around those areas you want to clone and just generate a fill, and it matches those areas most likely. So you don't have to do the labor intensive clone stamp tool or any other of the tools from Photoshop. I mean, you could try it and see whether it hastens work.
I have used those for years and they work wonderfully, but every year that Adobe adds to the load for this is almost a 14-year-old computer.
Yeah.
And I think I've mentioned it a number of times before that it has an SSD that was put in it. There was a very competent tech that came in, and it did have the space available for an SSD to be put in place of the hard drive, and it just worked wonderfully for a long time. But the last couple of versions of Photoshop just have brought it to its knees, as you can see, because from time to time you could see that when it did have its resources, it was working really well. But as soon as it used them up, it said, I don't want to do it anymore.
Right.
It just,
How much RAM do you have there, Rex?
oh, I have no idea.
Not
I
enough.
don't know. Not enough.
Not enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you could upgrade the RAM, it may help you facilitate your workload.
Yeah.
Not without you're still going to need the CPU to run the application.
Yeah, that's true. The graphic. Yeah, right. Yeah.
And
This
with
is a window.
all the graphic stuff that's in
Right.
Photoshop and Lightroom nowadays, you need a GPU.
Yeah.
Well,
No, this is an Intel Core i7 system, and it's Windows, but it's originally a Windows 7. Now it's a Windows 10.
okay. Simply put, i5, i7, i9, those are just marketing terms. Unless you have the actual model number of the processor, it doesn't mean anything. Because I can buy i3s today that will outperform i7s and i9s from 4 or 5 years ago.
I wondered about that because I saw some i5s on the market now that I was wondering, well, gee, I know that there's a 9. There's a 9 out there now, and I thought, wow, that's got to be the best. But I also saw
it depends on the model number, because i9 continues every year, i7 continues every year, but there's new model numbers. So at least knowing what generation it's from, like I say, 13900 or 11900 or whatever the model number happens to be, that tells you more about what the processor is than i5, i9, i7. It's just marketing stuff.
Yeah, I can look it up very quick. I can go into system display. Where is display? Here. System SYSTEM. You see if you have a 30. Okay, it's a processor is an Intel Core i7 CPU Q720 with 1.60 gigahertz system. The installed RAM is 8 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah.
And
I'm not keeping any of that.
And it's a 64-bit operating system. So it's 8 gigabytes of RAM and a 1.6 gigahertz CPU.
Yeah, I'm not keeping any of that.
All right. Well, Rex, thank you. We appreciate you going through that, though.
Well, I'm sorry for the slow motion, but
it's okay. It's okay. It still was informative, and it shows you how to start that process of fixing a torn picture. And I would assume it would be the same sort of process if you're fixing one that's just got watermarks in it, or is just damaged as far as like pieces missing or the print itself's going bad. So good deal. Thank you, Rex.
Okay, I'll be a lot less reluctant to participate again.
No,
when we solve this issue.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Hey, thanks, Bob.
All right.
Okay, onward.
Onward. Rex.
Yeah.
That's my frustration. Photoshop.
What do you say, Marty?
I said, good job. That's my frustration. Photoshop.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a quick look at this video that I got. Let me bring it to the right screen. There it is. So Margie was going to talk about custom brushes and how to make a custom brush in Photoshop. So I got a video. It is about 16 minutes long. He's going to go through and talk about how to make a custom brush and how they work, how to name them, that kind of thing. And I thought it was pretty good. So we'll take a look at that right now. And then after that, I think we're going to do a little critiquing. We haven't done any critiquing for a while, and Margie's going to be very mad at us because we haven't. So we need to start that. So let me share my screen. And share, and you should see a guy that looks like he's scared to death. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let's
But it has cool cameras behind him.
He does have some cool cameras behind him. And this guy is going to show us a little bit about custom brushes.
Hey guys, it's Nemanja and welcome to another really fun episode about the brushes. Brush is really powerful tool in Photoshop because you can use it for a ton of cool and creative things. You can even do some cool special effects using brushes. So by creating a custom brush, you can create some snow, rain, mist, clouds, debris, and so on and so forth. A lot of cool things. And today I will show you basic principle how you can create any custom brush in Photoshop. So without further ado, let's jump straight into Photoshop and let the fun begin. Alright guys, we are here in Photoshop, and first thing that we need to do to be able to create any custom brush is to create a blank document. And one important thing that you need to know is that if you're using Photoshop CS6 and below, the maximum brush size is 2500 pixels. So the maximum document size is 25 by 2500 pixels. Or if you're using Photoshop CC and above, the maximum brush size is 5000 pixels. So now I will create a new blank document, go to File, New, and I will go with a 25 by 2500 72 resolution. It's perfectly okay for this. You can go with 300 resolution if you want. 8-bit white document, that's it. So now we have a simple white square. And now all you need to do to be able to create any custom brush is just to create a black silhouette over the white background, or black silhouette over no background at all. You need to remember this because you don't want to have background in any other color except white, or no background at all. Otherwise you will have a big mess. I will show you that later, but just for now, remember no background and black silhouette of black shape of any brush you want to create. So let's create a simple triangle brush. I will go to a lasso tool just to create a triangle like this, and I will fill it with a black color by holding Alt and backspace, or Option and backspace on Mac. And this is it. It's a little bit messy, but it doesn't matter. For this example, we have this triangle and we want to turn this into a brush. So remember guys that I said that we want to have a maximum document size to be able to create a maximum brush size for the current version of Photoshop that we are using, or where we want to use this brush. So now, because we made a smaller triangle like this, and if we convert this into a brush, to be able to convert it into a brush, it's really simple task. You go to Edit, Define Brush Preset, and just name it triangle, right? This is not how you spell it. Triangle, all right? And press OK, and we have it. This is it. We have our triangle brush. Everything is cool, everything is perfect, everything works fine, except if you right click, you will see that now our brush size is 536 pixels, and this is cool. And if you want to have a smaller brush, everything will work perfectly, no problem at all. But if you want to have a bigger brush like this, for some reason, and create that, if you zoom it, you will see we are lacking the resolution because we created a smaller brush and then enlarge it, and of course we don't have enough resolution. So that means that if you're planning to use the brush size to the maximum brush size that your Photoshop is allowing, Photoshop version is allowing, make sure to create the big brush to utilize the whole real estate of the document size. So now if you want a triangle, make a big triangle, fill it with black, and now we go to Edit and Define Brush Preset, name it triangle, and now we have this really cool brush. And we can always make it smaller, no problem at all, it will work perfectly, but now we can make it really big without losing the resolution. You see, we have nice, cool, crisp edges. So that's it, it's simple like that. All you need to do is to create a black silhouette over the white background, go to Edit, Define Brush Preset, and there you have it. You have your custom brush in a matter of a couple of seconds. Remember when I told you to use the whole real estate of the document? That doesn't mean that you always need to create like a big silhouette, big shapes that you want to turn into a brush like I did with a triangle. For example, if you're creating some particle brush, you just need to populate the whole real estate, to use the whole real estate of the document, but with maybe some smaller shapes. Let me show you that really quickly. Let's delete this, we don't need it. Let's create a new document, a new layer. And now what I like to do, I like to go and use again, lasso tool or whatever to create some shapes, but I want to create one shape here, then press and hold shift and create one shape here, maybe one shape here in the middle, maybe one shape right there. And I used the whole real estate of this document. I could do the same, more dense, smaller, right here in the center, but that's not good. So I always want to use the whole real estate of the screen. Now I want to go and turn it into a black and go to edit, define brush preset and name it maybe particles. Okay, and now I can always make it smaller. So I could do this, just make it here, but I couldn't use then a bigger brush if I needed. So that's it, how you are creating a custom brush. It's easy like that. Now the next step is to change some brush settings to be able to have some cool effects while using this brush. So let me show you that really quickly. Now that we created this custom brush that I named particle brush, if we just use it like this, it's interesting, it's cool for something. We can change always the brush color, whatever, and maybe make some cool art. But we can make it even more interesting because this cannot be used for particles so much, but it can be used for a lot of cool things. But in case I want particles, let's delete this and let's go right here to brush properties. You can go right here or press F5 on the keyboard to enter this. And here we have a ton of options. I will not go through all of them today. I will just give you some ideas, and the best way to learn is just to go through all of them, play and experiment and see what every single adjustment here, every single option will do to your brush, and you will learn a lot by experimenting. So here we have a brush tip shape and we have a spacing. This is the most common thing that we are changing here. So now if I move this, we have some spacing between those two strokes, as you can see, but maybe we want to enlarge those spacing, as you can see here. So now we'll have a bigger spacing or make it smaller like this, no spacing at all, etc. So I want to make bigger spacing like this, and this is already looking like some cool small particles. But as you can see, the pattern repeats. We always have the brush in the same direction, same angle, etc. So we can make it even more interesting by going to shape dynamics, and we can go to angle. We can go and change the angle with every single stroke. So change the angle jitter all the way 100%, and now you can see the brush is changing the angle all the time. It's rotating, tilting a little bit, and this is really cool. Now we have something a little bit more randomized and even more interesting. Also, we can change the size because now every single stroke is the same size but a different angle. But if we go all the way to 100%, we will have one smaller, bigger, and so on and so forth. So it's completely random, and that's cool for some cool particles. Also, we can change the roundness. So experiment with this. Sometimes it's better, sometimes it's not doing good to your brush, so you don't need to go to all the way to 100%, but maybe around 30. And this is cool. It's changing the roundness of the brush strokes, making them more squeezy and more wider, and that's really cool. And that's it for the shape dynamics. Of course, you can change a lot of things here. You can control it with the fade, pen pressure, etc. Also the angle. You can go and say directional, which is really cool for some brushes like maybe arrows or whatever. Experiment, see what it's doing to your brushes. Then we can go to scattering and scatter it a little bit. So make it more like this. So maybe scatter it, and you can see it's again really cool thing. And we can make some cool particles here. Make really small brush and then change, see what settings works best for current situation. So maybe you want to create some flying particles from the fire, I don't know, and just make this around the fire image that you have and make your photo even more interesting and fun to watch. Then we have texture. You can add some kind of a texture to your brush strokes. Then we have a dual brush. We can have two brushes in one, and a lot of cool other things like color dynamics. So color dynamics is cool because you can change between background and foreground colors. So maybe we want green and red, and just switch between them 50% or 100% or whatever. And if I zoom it, you will see it will always switch between green and red color and something in between, and you can have something like that. Or maybe to change the hue all the way to 100%, you don't want to switch between red and green, you just want to change the hue of the color, and now you will have a lot of cool shapes, sorry, not shapes, but the color variation in one brush. So this is cool thing, etc. Saturation, brightness jitter, it will make your color brighter and darker, and a lot of cool things that you can change right here in the brush settings and create basically any kind of custom brush that you want for a lot of cool effects in Photoshop. And that's really useful, especially if you're doing photo manipulations like I'm doing. You can do a lot of cool things right here. Right now, let me show you just one thing that you need to know by creating a custom brushes, and then we are done. And that's, let's just delete this layer, and that's when you want to create semi-transparent brush. You can create transparent brush like for clouds or for whatever reason you need by changing the silhouette color from black towards the gray and white. White is 100% transparent color, 100% transparent brush. Black is 100% opaque brush, and everything in between is the variation between 100% and 0% opacity. So for example, we want something like this. We want 100% opaque, and then we want maybe something 50% transparent or opaque, doesn't matter, and make it something like this. So this means, let's do like this. I don't know why, but let's do it. And let's fix this. So this means that this part of the brush will be 50% transparent. You can see through it. And now if we turn this into a brush, let's go to Edit, Define Brush Preset, and I'll just press OK because I don't need a name for this. And let's just delete, create new document, a new layer. I always say new document, I don't know why. But now we have this. And as you can see, this is 50% transparent. It's really cool. If you change the color to maybe something orangey, you will see it's transparent, just 50%. And sometimes this is really cool, it's really useful, and maybe we can go right here and go and change shape dynamics, change the angle, and just play with some settings right here like this, and you can see we have something like this. This is just a simple example that you can do a transparent brushes in case you need something like this for any reason. And let me show you here. Here we can go to shape dynamics, angle, and go to directional. And this means that it will follow the direction of your brush. So this is really cool if you go and set the control of angle to directional. And also if you go to brush shape and change the starting position like this, then it will follow this. You will have something like this. It's really cool. Or maybe 45 degrees. You will have something like this. And a lot of cool things that you can do with custom brushes and create some cool custom shapes. You can now create this brush and create this cool shape and then turn this into a brush. But make sure to make it black and white, because now you can transform this into a brush, but you will not know how transparent this would be because you don't have impression if this is 100% black or 50% black, etc, etc. So that's basically it. Right now let me quickly show you what happens if the background is not white. So if you want to create, let's delete everything. If you want to create maybe yellow background and then you want to create some kind of brush, let's go with a triangle again and just make a triangle, okay, fill it with black and turn this into a brush, go Edit, Define Brush Preset. You will have square brush because you will have something like this, as you can see. So background will be, let's delete this and let's hide this. Background will be semi-transparent because it turns yellow into a gray color, so just desaturated, and it makes it, of course, semi-transparent because it's not 100% black, and everything else is staying the same. But you don't want this. In case you want it, you can do it, but this is rarely thing that you want to do in Photoshop, to have like square background and brush inside. But just to let you know that this is what you're getting if you're, let's see what we can do with this. This is what you're getting if you have some other color background. So maybe you want something crazy, but I wouldn't do this. I don't know why you would do something like this, but you can. This is an option. Maybe make smaller brush and just play some crazy, make some crazy shapes. Okay, but that's the point. This is what happens when you have some other color background than white. Right guys, so that's it for today. I really hope that you like this episode and that you learn how you can really easily create any custom brush in Photoshop. One more time, remember, make sure to check about the document size with the Photoshop version that you're using. Go.
All right, guys. So that was custom brushes. I found that pretty interesting. But I want to, this one's a quick one. Let's watch this real quick. It doesn't say anything, but it shows you how to make a brush out of something that's a picture. Okay. Let me stop
That
sharing.
last part,
What's that?
that last part, he seemed to go through a lot of setup and then I didn't see what he did.
What he did was put a gradient over top of the brush and colored the gradient from the color of what was in the picture, the blue and the pink, so that it added blues and pinks to the cloud.
Okay.
When I upload the video, I'll put the links to both of these videos on the description of the YouTube video when I upload it.
It was a thumbs up, by the way.
Okay. So anyhow, I know I didn't really want to show YouTube videos, but hey, it is what it is. I thought those were two. The one was was pretty neat at showing you how to do patterns and all, and how to adjust that brush. I didn't know you could adjust them brushes that much. That was pretty interesting to me. And then the second one showed you that you can do that just from something that's from a photograph. The biggest and most important thing that I seen was that making sure that it is a true black and white, so that it's able to work. And the first guy showed us why we have to have it as a black and white. Either a white background or no background at all works the best. So anyhow, that is some custom brushes. I'll talk to Margie and see if there's anything that she wants to add to that later on down the road whenever she's available. All right. Let me see. So I think let's take a little bit of time and do some critiquing. We haven't done any of that. Let's take a look at our August Photographer's Choice. I think that one's fair game. And we'll do a little critiquing, unless anyone has anything they want to bring up or talk about first. I really need to get a cricket sound for a noise that I can play whenever I ask questions.
Is it meant to wake us up?
I guess, I don't know. Just to check
Well,
to make sure
I turned my mic off so you can hear it when I laugh.
All right, let me go back to sharing my screen.
I mean, on.
And we'll take a look at some of the August Photographer's Choice pictures, and we'll see what we get there. Share. You guys should see. Yep, that's what you're looking at. All right, let's start out. We'll start at the bottom and work our way to the top. Not in any particular order, just the person that was the first one to put one in here. Okay. Critique. Anybody? Everybody?
I'm still looking. I don't like how red it looks, I guess. But I really, really like in the top, you can see just the edge of that one, the underside of the one mushroom. And that looks really, really cool.
This here?
Yes.
Right there.
I'm definitely interested.
I like that everything is in focus, and no blurred in the background except for the background, the red. I don't know what that is. Wood chips or something like that.
Yeah.
But I guess they wanted to kind of match the complementary color of the top of the mushroom to the foreground and background, which is kind of nice interpretation.
Mm.
Also, the lighting is good. They must have used a flash in order to see the background, which is kind of nice. They did that.
My take on it is, well, there's the 12 elements that we look for. The 12th one is story, and I'm wondering why it's always been 12th, because the story is the first thing that I'm thinking about when I look at a picture. What is the story? Like, for example, it's telling us something, it's providing us with some information, and it belongs somewhere. But does it belong on a wall, or does it belong in a slick tabletop coffee book? Where does it belong? I look at this, and we know that for practically speaking, it is mushrooms, and it is just perfectly done to record a great detailed photograph of these mushrooms. to me, it's almost like it belongs in a high class catalog or it belongs in a medical dictionary. It rather than as an art piece, and it is very artful. It's well executed. It is properly in focus, properly exposed, and it's lit. It looks either front or top lit because it is dark. There are some shadows at the lower mushroom stems by the the edge of the upper mushroom parts. You can see the shadow, and it is a very black shadow. So it looks like the light was very close, and it was just meant to be a detailed and factual color photograph. That's how I see it. Almost a scientific presentation. Period.
Okay. Who did it belong? Does it belong to someone here tonight?
I don't think
No, Deep Sky Watcher. Okay, so Tom's not on this evening. All right, let's take a look at Art's or Alan's picture.
I think it needs some. I think it's a little dark, but it needs some context. I mean, the guy's hanging in the sky. Why exactly is he there? As Rex pointed out.
I think if you had, like Dennis said, if you had just a hair of the dirt jump that he's coming off of down in the bottom, just to tell a little bit more of the story. And I like Dennis would like to see him a little bit lighter, a little bit more detail. Out of the motorcycle.
If you like the guy, you could have cropped him much tighter.
Maybe not quite that tight, but
yeah.
When it's too tight that you crash your motorcycle. Trust me.
Well, I'm wondering if maybe it might have as much drama if it was totally silhouette on blue.
That would be interesting.
If it was a total silhouette.
I mean, turn the guy black?
Yeah, everything that's motorcycle, everything that's the rider. If the blue sky remains as blue as it is, but the whole thing is just silhouette. It's just a thought. I'm wondering what it would look like that way.
Squinting at it, it looks like you'd still be able to tell what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Another. And where did he come down? That's what I'm wondering. He didn't hit you, did he? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Alan, you want to say anything about it? Is that yours? I think it's Alan's. Yeah.
Timing was right to get him in the air like that.
Yes, as far as that, yeah, it's good timing. It's good and sharp. As far as the rider and the good part of the motorcycle, we got enough motion in the wheels and tires to show that it's moving, kind of thing. I like that. I would like to see this area just a little brighter, the motorcycle too, but especially face and stuff like that. Maybe eyes, goggles, you should be able to see.
So, in other words, move the shadow slider slightly to the right.
Yeah, without changing without changing the background. I love the blue in the background, but I think this area here needs to be, well, the motorcycle and rider, in my opinion, needs to be a little more less blue as well.
Okay, we know now in Lightroom that we now have a mask that allows you to select sky and then invert, or you can select subject. So
Right.
there were two options there to get to what you want to do.
Yeah.
Without disturbing the other.
All right. Let's take a look at the next one then. With this one, I would like to see it. To me, it's just it needs better a better color correction. I mean, it's a nice shot. It's a good shot of the motorcycle, the rider. We can see goggles, we can see reflections. It's good and sharp. Got a little bit of motion in the tire, so you know he's still moving.
Little tilt.
Yeah, but the color to me, and I don't know if it's my screen or maybe it's just my screen, but to me everything looks very blue.
Yeah, that's me too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a blue cast.
I think a little more color correction would bring this, make this a better picture and make it pop a little bit better. It has to be, it was definitely not muddy because typically motorcycle riders in the fields are covered in mud. So,
Yeah.
it's either early
Well,
on.
it's daylight or it's sunlight photo, so
yeah,
it would tend to be a little blue.
Depends on what color temperature
Yeah.
it's in right now. Like, even when it starts as a raw image, you can change it, but if you don't, there's usually just whatever default it picked based on what it thought the lighting was is not always accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I assume the sleeve of that uniform is white.
Yeah.
And the 9 on the bike.
This here should be white. The 9 should be white.
Yeah.
This could probably have a little bit of bluish to it, but the down here should be white. But this all to me, like the number 9 and this and even the color, even the white in his helmet, all has that blue tint to it, which to me, I'd rather see that go away. And I think that will fix the grass and stuff in the background to me looks too blue. It's not as much, not the green that I think it should be, although I wasn't there. I mean, I don't know where it was or anything like that, but the grass I think should be.
Hey, Alan, you're not forcing a color correction from your camera, are you? D850, I believe. You might want to go back check and see that it's set to standard, or I think it's standard that shoots at
auto white balance or something else.
Auto white balance. You might have gotten that off over a course of time.
Well, it could be set for taking pictures of stars and stuff like that. I've seen a few of those.
If you're setting it on clouds and you're shooting in bright daylight, that's going to change the color.
Yeah.
5,000 to 5,500 is usually about right, but auto balance is what I use all the time. And if it looks like it's that far off, or not that far off, but if it looks like what I have is off, then I do what I think corrects it. It's not always right, but close.
Yeah, but the D850 should be set to take a little bit better consistent color than that. And I believe that he's got a setting slightly off. If he's got it set for clouds, he really should set it to standard or normal, and then do his color correction in post. Follow me, Alan?
I know Alan's on, but he's not saying anything, so maybe he's busy. But
You just walked on him.
all right, take a look at this picture. This is I bet you can't guess, Beth's.
Should have quizzed him.
Yeah. Beth, this is I thought this was a fantastic photo because of the frame and the flowers that you're trying to outline in that frame. You're framing a frame. The only thing maybe on the foreground could be a little bit lighter, but I think it's very imaginative. I think are you gonna make this into a photo to for a jury selection or anything like that? I mean, you should try to enter it.
I don't know. It's one I might make a print for feathers or something like that, but I don't know. Juried shows, they tend to like things sharp.
Yeah.
Well,
it depends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you could try it though. I mean, it's really unique. Let's put it that way, Beth.
Yeah.
Very
I
unique.
do have a version that I lightened up the foreground a little bit more because, yeah, I agree that that's kind of dark. But I brought the whole thing down a little bit because the sky was really bright.
Mm-hmm.
But stuff didn't line up in the right spots.
Yeah. Where was this, by the way, Beth?
Maple Bottom Farm in Dawson has been doing a sunflower field every summer.
Wow.
And it's basically only for August. But they put different props in the field and stuff like that. And if you look, there's even a pair of sunglasses on the one sunflower to the left of the door.
Oh yeah, I see them now.
Which I didn't even see when I went by this the first couple times. But it's in the pictures from the beginning, so I think it was intentional.
Do they is it someplace that you can go, or do they charge for you to go, or?
Yeah, it's like $8, but you also can take they'll give you a cup and you can pick flowers. And like they give you like the cutting shears. If you want these, they also have a field of, I think it was asters or something. There were pink and stuff like that. I've got other pictures from that day of those, but I only had like 45 minutes while Nate was at soccer practice one night. But they're only open like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because it's also a working dairy farm. And they have cheese made with their milk. I don't remember if they sell the milk or not, but they do have cheese. They have other stuff. Actually, we got cheese curd last year that was really good.
But those props are there. They put the props on the field.
Yeah. There's a 3-wheeled bicycle that was out there last year. There's a couple of benches. They do picnics. You can like schedule a picnic. And I think they'll put all the food together. It's a B&B as well. But it's
the door really drew me in. And it's more in focus than the left. And I usually don't like things that are in focus, but the door part is in focus and I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, do enter this, Beth. Seriously.
Yeah, I might try.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it too.
All right. Take a look.
Okay, that's my pano.
That is really sharp.
Should that red coat be laying on the ground by now?
Yeah, the challenge on this one is the lower third was almost all sidewalk. So what I had to, my learning curve was to create as natural looking as possible grass.
Very well
It
done.
took me a little while to get it all in. There's another shot similar to it. The building that sort of peeks out to the right there is the sawmill. And that was even more challenging than this one. But the challenge in this one also was every few feet there's a sign that says something. I don't remember what it says on the signs.
Don't climb the spike.
What?
Don't climb on the spikes.
Yeah. And the fun part was there were about 5 or 6 of them strewn or at the right where the grass meets the spikes as where they go into the ground. And I had to take all of them out. And I'm not sure if this is the one. Yeah. If you look to the right, there's a little red dot, and that is a uniformed soldier headed up towards the guardhouse.
On the left.
Yeah, I mean on the left. Okay, yeah, I'm looking at it correctly here. Yeah. On the left side, right at the tip of those spears, there's a little red dot. In close up, you can see it's a uniformed soldier that's working his way up. Mm-hmm. Also, between the fortification on the right and the sawmill, I filled in with trees and shrubs the area that was showing highway. So it was a fun project, and I'm open for critique.
You know, Rex, when I look at it, a couple comments. One is it's too perfect.
Oh, okay.
It's an old structure.
Yeah.
That white building on the left bothers me, and it should be in black and white.
I took the telephone wires and electric cables and all of that stuff out. I did remove those things.
Well, that's all right. For the period that it represents, it's too perfect. And I think it should be in black and white.
I agree. I agree with black and white, definitely.
Okay. I can do that.
Right. Rex, I agree with Dennis that white building is a little bit distracting.
It is.
It should have cropped it. And even that one on the right is kind of a half building that you just need your imagination to fill out. Maybe I would have cropped that as well and brought it in tighter to kind of just focus on the fort or on the centerpiece here.
Okay.
But it's a good.
Yeah, I mean, maybe give it a little fog, a little haze to take some of the. It's so precise. You know, somebody might think it's like a park, and I don't think that's what your intention was.
No, I have there's sort of an inertia that I have when I'm creating, and I find myself always to tend to go for making it as clear and sharp and realistic as possible.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that becomes a hindrance after a while.
Yeah. Well, you know, certainly when it was built, the precision with which it was built is not nearly as good as this modern interpretation.
Well, the engineers are going to take responsibility for that one. Yeah. Well, I just photographed it. I didn't build it, but
yeah. But I think you can give it some character of the time period if you just made it. Put some bodies on the rail, impaled.
You know, I have when I walked up inside, there was a drill going on with 3 soldiers and their commander, and I photographed them at different distances I also photographed them on the hillside firing their rifles.
Yeah.
And if I get the notion to do it, I could put them in there, make them in black and white.
Right.
Another thing would be a sepia tone. Take those two buildings out of each side. Actually, what I would do then, I wouldn't even bother trying to take them out. I would crop them out. I wouldn't try to Photoshop them out. I would just crop them out, and maybe turn it into a sepia tone or a black and white or such.
Yep.
There's a similar one with the sawmill, more visible, completely visible. And that was even a harder task because the highway and a link fence to the right was completely taken out.
It's good though, Rex. It's really I mean, it's a stunning photograph.
Yeah.
It really is.
It was the challenge was at first the challenge was the sky, and I really liked that sky, so I enhanced it just a little bit. I don't feel like I overdid the enhancement on the sky, but the real challenge became the sidewalk.
Yeah,
because there really is a sidewalk there.
Well, nicely done.
Thanks.
All right.
This was my favorite, and I think it's because
great photo.
The flowers and the butterfly, the background don't distract from them, and it's a very simple photo, but I really like it.
Yeah, you know, normally people tend to concentrate on the butterfly, and Jim left it's a very sharp butterfly, but left some context with the flowers on the left and the right. It's a nice photo.
See, my compulsion would have been to duplicate the trailing edge of the right wing on the left side.
You could do that, Rich, but I think you lose some of the character. I mean, the butterfly's been through a battle or two, and I think that's part of the story.
I
mean, that flower, I'd like to see that flower on the right a little sharper, but that's a minor quibble.
I like the picture, but here's my but, and you guys all said it was good, and I'm really just this section here that's the really muted green, and this isn't muted green, bothers me. This separating line right here. When I first looked at the picture, that's what I saw was this separating line.
Yeah.
I had to look for the butterfly, and to me personally that bothers me. But the butterfly and the flowers and this guy down here and in the composition beyond that line right there is really good.
You got that leaf on the right, the same kind of a intruder. Yeah, I don't have any problem with that left leading. I just think it fits into context.
Yeah.
But
you know what, Brian? I think that could be, is that the edge of a window? Because there's like a window silhouette there on the upper left-hand side. Is that a shadow of a window? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I can't see that in the picture. I mean, it's a possibility, but I don't know. It just, to me, that line in the middle bothers me, and that's just me. You know what I mean?
No, I agree with you, Brian. That section of green in the back that you're talking about for that line it just bothers me.
I think if this line
looks like it looks actually like he just blacked some, he took that green and blocked something out of there.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that if it wasn't for the line, if this green went the whole way over, or if this type of background was the whole way across this direction to the right.
Yeah.
So this stuff in the darker and this and that, I think it would bring that picture to a different level. I don't know.
Yeah. Because I like the butterfly.
Oh yeah, I'm not taking anything away from the butterfly, the composition, the flowers. It's really good, but that line really distracts my eye. And again, that's my opinion. And we all know what opinions are.
Mm-hmm. But no, I agree with your opinion on that one. I think we've seen enough things with the butterflies.
Did this make it to that competition that you
No.
judged a couple
I
weeks
don't
ago?
recall. No, I don't recall seeing
No.
it in the competition. No.
No, we didn't see this one. I don't think anybody from the club, I don't put anything in that.
Well, I got one for next year, so.
Yeah. I think Suzanne had a honorable mention.
Oh, it could have been. I don't know. I didn't know who put what in.
Let's take a look at this. We got a few more minutes.
Annie, I did enter one, but only
Did you?
one. Yeah. It was a tiny little bee on a flower.
We looked at almost 300, so I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Was
I
it
don't
a
know. I
bee
looked at quite a few bees.
Was it a bee or was it a hoverfly?
I don't actually know. It was a small thing aiming at the pollen of the plant, so I figured it must be a pollinator.
Yeah.
It was a small flying thing.
Yeah, there was one that was a hoverfly that we looked at pretty closely.
All right. Let's take a look at this picture pretty closely.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
I like this. I think it's cool. I like street art or stuff like this. I like to photograph it. I like to see it.
It's cool.
It's good and sharp, and it's got something to do with photography.
It absolutely does.
It's a really neat.
I saw this. I really like this. I'm going to presume that it's in the alley in Greensburg by the palace.
It's in the alley in Greensburg, the art gallery, next to the palace.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really cool.
Yeah.
The only thing I'd like to see is just take the top up just a hair so that we get the whole S.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Fix the slope.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a little off kilter, but I think that would help just adding the whole S and the L in there.
Time out. There's a problem with off kilter because the bottom's square to the screen.
Yeah, it's perspective.
Yeah, it's not straight on.
Because it's being shot at a slight angle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not tall enough to take a straight shot.
Oh, come on, Bob. Take a ladder with you.
No, I'm not.
Take a step stool.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. You know, they make portable ones.
Step back.
But
now you can only step back so far, Rex.
Yeah.
There's a
Look out
fence
for
on
the
the other
cars.
side.
No, I think though it's a neat thing. It's a neat concept by the artist, and I like the fact that it has something to do with photography, and it's pretty cool. Color is really good. It's nice and sharp, Bob. Like I said, I just like to see the top of the S.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And do that now by using so you could add the rest of that S right to it.
Susan's not here, but I know she took this. Or no, this is Dennis.
I took that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing this guy walk by, but I didn't see you take pictures of him, Dennis.
Yeah. Well, I probably didn't see it until after I got home. But if you don't know where we are, it probably doesn't make much sense.
That would make sense to me.
I know.
was
For
laughing.
those who didn't go to the
Steam show.
steam show, I mean, it's so you got these 100-ton earth diggers, and here's a guy carrying toys. So I just thought the contrast and message was interesting.
I remember watching him walk by, Dennis, and I looked at those two toys and went, "Hell, I have both of them at my house."
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed. I had a good friend back when I was a kid, about 10, 11 years old. We both had Tonka toys, and those Tonka toys were just like that. Had a road grader and a one of those haulers that you drop the load through the underneath.
Yep.
Yep.
My brothers had all of those toys, all the Tonka toys like that. But yeah, when I saw Dennis's caption for that, and I just from the picture, I knew where it was at. I started laughing. That was good. Liked it, Dennis.
Well, I think there's a clue in the background there. Some of the things.
Yeah.
Oh, those are smaller toys. Those aren't the big ones.
No, it's a really good representation of what was there, though. And like you said, it's kind of an interesting contrast to the bigger ones in the back, and those of us that have been there know that there's even bigger ones in the back.
Yeah.
And the guy carrying the toys through the lot there, it's pretty cool. Good. It's a very nice representation of the show itself.
Yeah. Thanks.
Nice day.
Yeah, to those that have not been there, I mean, I highly recommend it, or we recommend it, because it really shows how the industrial might of America kind of developed over the time span, from just a shovel to massive steam cranes. I mean, it was fascinating, I thought, and well put together. And I think it's twice a year they have one in the spring and the other one in the summer, right, Brian? I think
that is correct. They have one in the spring and one in August.
Yeah,
I recommend the August show because it's the bigger one. The spring one doesn't have as many people at it.
Right.
There's many people bringing stuff in. The spring show takes place during the National Pike Days.
Right.
So it coincides with the wagon train and that kind of stuff.
Right.
And
some of those items, like those big steam shovels, are kept there all year round. They don't move them at all.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's a lot of it that's kept there all year round.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Really fast. Is that a public park, Brian?
No.
No. It's owned by the National Pike and Steam Show.
Okay. Okay.
And it's only open during their shows. It's not like you can't go there any other.
You can't go in there. Okay. Yeah. But highly recommend it for next year to anyone.
Yep. All right. Well, that brings us to 9 o'clock. We got through several of those. We got a few more to look at. We'll look at them next time. I really like that one right there.
Yeah.
We'll get to the other ones next time we have a meeting. We'll keep going and doing our critiques, but I know where we left off. So if nobody else has anything, let me stop my share here. We'll call it an evening. It's 9 o'clock. I'm still at work. I need to go home.
Okay.
Anybody?
Buddy?
Nope.
Good night, all.
Good night.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Good
Bye, babies.
Good night.
Good night, Barb.
Good night, Barb.
Good night.